Everybody, and welcome to our LinkedIn Live today. And I'm delighted to have Tomas Conifrey here with me today. We're going to be talking about the shingles vaccination. And the reason we decided to do this is Tomas and we're chatting, and he was saying this is actually really important. So tell us, first of all, for the people in the audience who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, Tomas.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for having me on. My name is Tomas Conifrey, as Sam said, and I'm a community pharmacist. We have a pharmacy in Pierce Street in Dublin too. It's Conifrey's Care Plus Pharmacy, and we're actually, I was saying to Sam, we're 70 years open this year.
Wow.
So the pharmacy, well, thank you. The pharmacy was founded by my late father, Keelan, and then my mum was running it for a number of years. And I'm working in the pharmacy now since 1999. So I think that's about 26 years that
Nice.
I've been in the Pierce Street area. So you could say my family has a bit of a, I wouldn't say legacy, but we have a bit of a history in the Pierce Street area.
I'm sure that's amazing. And there's so many people in the area. I know sometimes the Wexford bus goes by your
Oh
pharmacy
yeah.
actually, and I'd be on the bus going, "I can see us," you know. So it's a great location where you have it. So tell us a little bit about. I know you do a lot of vaccination services, but tell us why this shingles vaccination is so important.
Yeah, this is a new service we offer. We've already been doing vaccinations for flu vaccines and COVID boosters over the last few years, and I like to kind of be progressive in terms of the services that we offer in the pharmacy. And last year, the opportunity came up for us to offer a shingles vaccination service. Now, a lot of people have heard of shingles. I know when I was growing up, it was like if you heard of somebody had shingles, they were very, very sick. I remember my uncle had it. It set him back a long time. My mum's friend had it, and she had it on her face, and they were concerned it would go into her eye because it kind of moves along nerves.
Mm.
And this lady, thankfully, everything was okay in the end. But shingles, like if somebody years ago, like say 30 years ago, if somebody had shingles, it was very bad news. But thankfully now there's new treatments, new technologies to prevent it and to some extent to treat it as well. So last year, the opportunity anyway came up for us to offer a shingles vaccination service in the pharmacy. We used a vaccine called Shingrix. And like people want to know what shingles is. You hear so much about it, but what actually is it?
Yeah, what is it?
Um, it like
Is it
it's
something to do with chickenpox?
it is,
No.
yes, it is. It's caused by the reactivation of the same virus that causes chickenpox in kids. So a lot of people would have chickenpox as kids. Later on in life, they perhaps might, develop shingles. So really, a lot of people say that, well, no, I never had chickenpox, so I'll never have shingles. That's may or may not be the case because, like, up to 90% of people have had chickenpox, in their life. So I will always assume if somebody says they haven't had chickenpox, chances are they probably did have it. They just didn't realize, or their parents didn't realize at the time.
Or they don't
So
remember. Maybe they were so young.
certainly not exactly. Yeah, and do you remember, like years ago, a lot of these things they were just you had just had to get on with it. So
Yeah.
kind of what it does, it presents, sorry, in the pharmacy or anywhere really, as a painful blistering rash. Now it could be on the body, on the chest, the abdomen are the most popular places, or the most to get it. Also, sometimes people can get it if they get on the face or near their eyes. That's a kind of a medical emergency because if it gets to the optic nerve, it can damage the optic nerve.
Oh.
Perhaps affect people's sight going forward as well. Sometimes it can affect people's hearing also.
Oh.
Um, Now, it's what it is. If somebody gets it, they need to kind of see a doctor as soon as possible to get, treatment for antivirals. Tablets like Zavirax and Valtrex are tablets that are used to treat the symptoms of shingles. Now, it's one of these things that if you get shingles, you're better off to treat it as soon as possible. Once the condition is finished, there can be some long-term complications of shingles, which are really a lot more painful than the actual condition itself. Like there's a term called post-herpetic neuralgia, which is this is the pain that people get after they've had a bout of shingles. So one guy I was talking to described it as the worst pain he ever had.
Mm.
So, and this is a tough dude. I was surprised, that there was bad. Really, it's kind of a long-term nerve pain, and it can last from months up to years in some cases. And really, also, it can cause a lot of complications. Really affect people's quality of life.
Mm.
Also, like I said, if it occurs on the face or near the eye, that can be an issue as well, and
Mm.
especially if it affects the optic nerve, because somebody's eyesight in that eye could be affected as well. And like other things as well, it can cause skin scarring, also hearing loss as well. there's muscle weakness. Sometimes it can weaken people's hearts or predispose them to having a stroke as well.
Wow. I had no idea. I know that years ago, one of my friends got shingles.
Yeah,
And I remember nobody would go near her. Nobody
that's
would
right.
visit her. And I visited her and I was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know
Uh,
why. I had chicken pox. Is that why? No?
Yeah, they're not. It's not really contagious, Sam. It's really
No.
just kind of a reactivation. So it's in you already. So
Right.
it's not a case of like somebody said, "Well, I never had chicken pox. I'm never going to have shingles." We don't know that for certain. So
Right.
I would just say, even so, 90% of people have had chicken pox, but if there's people that say, "Well, I'm in that 10% that didn't have it," I said, "Well, to be honest, I wouldn't take the risk. I mean, the complications are so severe. I think it's the kind of thing that if you can address it up front by availing of the shingles vaccination service.
Yeah. Because I mean, I know, is it dangerous for pregnant women expect?
Yes, it could
Or
be
is it
like
for men? Is that am I thinking of something else for men?
that's MMR, measles.
Oh,
Measles is uh,
mumps. I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
but like in our lifetimes, 1 in 3 people in our lifetimes will get shingles. So,
Okay.
and that's regardless of the
What?
health, whether they're perfectly healthy like you and I, or they could be somebody who's undergoing treatment, perhaps chemotherapy
Okay.
or some other treatment as well. Really, now age is the most important factor in terms of shingles.
Right.
There's kind of two groups of people we look at who could be prone to shingles. The first group would be people who are age 50 and older. So in this case, if you're like me and you're over 50, your immune system starts to gradually decline over time, and this virus can sometimes reactivate in your system. So,
Mm,
like somebody who's over 50 and they could be in good health, but the virus, for whatever reason, would just reactivate. So, it's really important that if somebody feels they're at risk of shingles, there are steps they can take, like the
mm,
vaccination. Another group is people who are over 18 years of age and they might be undergoing chemotherapy or some other form of treatment where their immune system is lowered. They
mm,
would be another at risk group. So
okay.
really, you have kind of two groups of people: people from 18 to 50 undergoing treatment, and people over 50 whose immune system, like it's really everybody over 50, all our immune systems start to decline over 50.
Mm. Lovely. It's great
Just
fun,
my,
isn't it? Getting over
just
50.
my, just my luck, Sam. I'm over 50.
And me, I'm 54. I
Oh,
know. But yeah, so like okay, so people in that age bracket and then so for people, so you do the vaccinations in the pharmacy
yeah,
in Care Plus Pharmacy in Pierce Street.
yeah,
So
that's right.
what is the cost of that?
So it is expensive. It's €250 per dose, but that involves the administration of the vaccine, and they obviously come to the pharmacy. We administer the vaccine, then we book in a second appointment after we've given the first injection,
Um,
to because it really you get 2 injections in 6 months.
mm,
So it's 250 for the first one, 250 for the second one. Now, and so it's €500 in total.
wow.
Now, it is expensive, but from talking to people over the years, I think if it's me, I'd prefer to pay the money up front, not have to worry about this constant nerve pain for months, perhaps years, other complications as well.
Well,
So
you've probably seen people come into the pharmacy in
yeah,
pain.
the
Yeah.
pain especially, like I remember my uncle had it, and he God help him, he was in bits for ages.
Oh,
So really, it like they said, there's no cure, but like an early treatment, like with say an antiviral tablet of once you once you realize you have shingles, go to the doctor. They give you like the antiviral tablet and a painkiller. They can help with your recovery. But really, ideally, if you're in the position, we would recommend getting vaccinated against shingles.
and can people claim that back off life insurance?
Yeah, you get 20% back. I'm not sure about life insurance. I know your tax return, you'll get
Right.
20% back. So that's 500. You get €100
Okay.
back the
Okay.
next year. So
Yeah.
it's
But
and
like,
possibly get someone with life insurance or
what
with health
about
insurance.
so if someone comes into you, what would the symptoms like if someone's watching this now and they're not sure, what would the symptoms be to look out for
It's
if they
usually a rash, a burning rash on their abdomen or their chest. It could be other places as well, but really a burning, painful rash as well. The pain kind of kicks in because nerves are involved, Sam. Nerve pain kind of kicks in and it can be very, very uncomfortable. So
Mm,
there's the initial pain. And once the rash clears up, the pain can linger for a long, long time.
okay. Okay, would there be fever or anything like that with that or
Possibly, yeah. It could really. It's really the pain and the irritation and the kind of redness. People, they would probably feel pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I think as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Okay. So, but you do lots of other vaccinations. Sometimes you actually go out to companies and do vaccinations. Is that correct? Tell me a
That's
little
right.
bit
We do for
about that.
colds and flus. For not for colds and flus, for flu vaccine we do the flu vaccine. Also, we do COVID boosters as well. We do a lot in the pharmacy, but some local businesses as well. We can go out and visit their staff if they want. And really, it's a case of we go to a place for maybe an hour and a half, and we can vaccinate all the staff in one go.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
really good service. That's a really good service. So, if
it's
anyone's interested, I'll just put the email address down the bottom.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we find it works very well as well, Sam, because previously people come to the pharmacy, and that's fine. But at least if you go to a business, you can get like an entire staff done maybe in an hour. So everybody is sorted, and they've no excuses then for
They
pulling
can't
us.
make them sick and say, "Well, I have the flu." No, you don't. You had your
No, that's
vaccination.
right. Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to add to that? So the who it would affect, why? Oh yeah, why the shingles vaccinate? It's really to avoid
Yeah.
getting shingles. So if you're vaccinated, you're not going to get shingles.
Well, there's like a 90%, 97% chance that you won't get shingles.
Mm,
There's
mm,
a group, the government, the HSE has set up a group called the National Immunization Advisory Committee, and they recommend the vaccine that we use, which is called Shingrix. They recommend that has an effective way to protect patients and to prevent shingles.
mm.
So, and like I say, in the two groups, people who are over 18 and receiving treatment, and people who are over 50.
Okay. So maybe people watching their parents, for example, maybe it might be something to look at for the
Yeah, I
older
think so. Yeah,
people,
actually, I misquoted myself there. It's 90% rather than 97%. I was
right?
overrating the pudding a bit. And to be honest, like there's not that many side effects from the vaccine either. It's really like getting a flu jab or getting a COVID booster or
That's what I
something
was
like
going
that.
to ask you about side effects. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
know I don't like getting these vaccinations myself. So
yeah,
it's like I'm always afraid I'm going to be sick afterwards.
yeah. You might have a sore arm, muscle pain, kind
Yeah.
of. You feel a bit fatigued, perhaps a bit of a headache, and like they're very mild,
Mm.
and like and they kind of sort themselves out after 2 or 3 days. So
So
it's the same as getting a flu shot.
okay, so if people want to contact you, the email is conifreedspharmacy@careplus.ie, or pop into the pharmacy and say, Tomas, we saw you, you're famous, we saw you on LinkedIn Live, and you can say where you heard about it. And if any queries, they can message you on LinkedIn as well.
Exactly, yeah. So one thing I forgot to say about the dosing. So you have a 6 month gap between the first dose
Um,
and
okay,
the effectiveness. So what we recommend is somebody comes in the first month, and then they come back 2 months later to
yeah.
get it done. But you can do any time within the 6 months, really. So ideally, just so they don't forget, when somebody
Mhm.
comes in for a dose, we give them the first dose, and then we will book the appointment for say 2 months time from there. So we're at the end of August now. So
Yeah.
probably the end of October would be the next. Say somebody comes this week, we book them in for the end of October to get the second one.
I'm going to be nosy here now, and just I'm sure other people might want to know as well. But like, what are you seeing in the pharmacies these days? Like what are you seeing people come in with? And I mean, community pharmacy is such an important thing that you do, and I know my local pharmacy here in Rosslare Harbour. I mean, it's just brilliant. You just do such great work. Like you're just a godsend sometimes for us, you know. So, is there anything that you want to warn people about or tell people to look out for? Anything like that that you've come across lately?
Well, the time of the year, back to school, a lot of people are in looking for stuff for knits, for
Well,
headlights for kids,
yeah.
headlights for kids. So it's the time of the year, and look, the most important thing with that is there's no shame with it. People
Mm.
really worry about it, and they come in and then they sort of slide in the door and they go round the long way around the round the counter, and like really, there's no shame. Like nothing will phase us anymore. So if
I'd
they want to
say
come in,
so. Yeah.
yeah, come in and have a chat, and like we can even have a chat in private if people are particularly sensitive about it.
Yeah.
We've a private consultation room which is available for customers the whole time. So please come in, and if you we don't have to do it on the shop floor. We can go in the room, sit down, have a chat.
Mm.
But the time of the year now, so a lot of people last week were getting their stuff for head lice.
I forgot about that. Actually, that's a
Yeah,
really good. I'm glad we did that. Now I'm glad we
yeah.
said that. So if you're watching, might be no harm in investing in a
Yeah,
bottle.
yeah. Well, you're probably better to investigate the head first, and they don't recommend treating it without actually seeing
Oh,
some of
yeah,
the
I know. It's good to
yeah.
have it handy though, because if the
Oh, yeah.
pharmacy's closed and
True. Well, that's true, yeah.
he comes home from school after
The
school,
letter, get the letter in the thing, but,
you want them to sleep on the pillows with them.
yeah. But
Oh,
the
my daughter used to get them all the time, and you'd be there, "Come." Oh, it's awful. But look,
yeah,
that's a really good tip. Thank you,
yeah.
Tomas. And if anyone is interested in contacting Tomas about the shingles vaccination in particular, that's it's new, is it? Many people might not know about it.
It was previously on prescription, but we've been able to do it now. They've changed the law slightly, so we've been able to do it about the last 18 months. So
Okay.
we've had a few people in actually come to get it. You might have seen ads on some bus shelters as well. I've seen them myself about shingles and about they're
Okay.
trying to do an awareness campaign to let people know it's available now as well. And also, like, when you think about community pharmacy, we're very accessible. There's one on every high street in every town in Ireland.
Yeah.
So, and like a lot of us are doing the vaccinations as extra services. So previously, you might have needed to make an appointment with your doctor to get a vaccination like this, but now you can just come to your pharmacy and make an appointment. Like, we're really, pharmacies are the most accessible healthcare professionals in Ireland when you think about it. Like, you don't necessarily need appointments; you just walk in off the street.
I think you're wonderful. I think yous are amazing. Like, honestly, like it is. It's great. And it's just have that peace of mind and the advice. And you're so knowledgeable.
Mm.
Tomas, and I know you and I have had several issues where, I was asking you something, advice about something, and like you just know so much. It's
Mm.
really, I don't think you get enough credit, actually, the pharmacists for what they
Mm.
do.
Yeah. Oh, well, like I say, every day is learning day, Sam, and I see something new every single day that
I
keeps
can
me on my
imagine
toes.
the
Just when I
story.
think I'm about to settle, something else comes across again to keep me interested and keep me learning.
Well done, Tomas. And folks, please connect with Tomas if you're not connected to him. Lovely guy, and thank you. Well done. Thanks
Thanks,
very
Sam.
much, Tomas.
Thank you.